It's a pleasure to be here this day doing an interview with teacher Stalin. So the first question is, can you tell me your name and age, please?
For sure. Well, my name is Stalin Mauricio and I'm 37 years old.
Okay. How many languages did you learn?
Well, until now I know Spanish as my mother language, as my mother tongue, and English also as my mother tongue too. And actually I'm trying to learn a little bit more. I'm a lot into Chinese, the Mandarin. Trying to learn into it, but it's still the basic stuff. And to tell you the truth, right now into the different programs the institution has, I'm trying to get a little bit of Portuguese too. It's just because of the needs of my job.
Okay. What of those can you speak perfectly?
Perfectly English and Spanish.
Why did you learn that language?
Well, let me tell you that story actually because as English as well as Spanish, I had to learn it naturally. First of all, because my parents had to travel when I was like really little, and when I was a baby, I arrived to the United States, so I had to learn it naturally. I went to the school, I went to high school over there too in the United States. And as I am Ecuadorian, I also had to come here to Ecuador and try to share and try to know a little bit about the culture and the language too.
Okay. Did you learn this language for your necessity or because you like to learn?
Well, English, I believe it was a necessity as well as Spanish. I'm 37 years old and I can tell you that I still commit lots of mistakes when I speak English and Spanish because, we have different ways of talking, right?
Yeah.
Formally speaking or informally speaking. So right now, what I can tell you is that language, I have used English and Spanish in both countries. When I went to the United States, I had to learn Spanish too. Because I was surrounded by Latin people, so I had to learn Spanish. Second, I had to learn really, really good English because I was using it in school, high school, and university. So I had to learn really, really good the academic speech of English. But to tell you right now the truth, I love languages. I like learning languages. I believe it's one of the ways in which you can learn about a person or more of what you have outside, not just in Ecuador, but outside of it,
At what age do you begin to speak this language, in this case English, kind of quickly?
Well, I remember I just went to bed and I woke up to speak in English. But to tell you the truth, yeah, I speak English since I was a little baby. I could tell you that Spanish was a little bit harder for me because the first language I learned was English over there in the United States. My parents took me over there when I was a baby. So the second country I had to visit, it was Ecuador. So when I came here, I was still a baby, but I had to learn Spanish. Probably I was 4 or 5 years old when I had to learn it. So I'm telling you, I had to learn the informal language of Spanish and the informal language of English too. So I guess both languages, I learned them as my mother tongue, as a natural language, naturally,
Okay. Did you consider yourself bilingualism or multilingualism?
I will consider myself multilingual. Why? Because I like to learn, like I said before, I like to learn about languages. I like to watch movies. I like to read documentaries. I like to read news. I like to be informed of every news we have around the planet, around the world. And what is the best choice for it is to listen to them, to listen another language and try to understand at least minimum things, you know. But you do understand it sometimes. Once you learn one language, one extra language, I guess you continue to with the capability of understanding many other languages. It's because of the structure, probably, of or probably the will the person has to understand and catch any other languages, probably.
Okay, the last question is, what language do you use frequently?
I frequently use Spanish and English. I frequently use both. And English here at work, you know, I'm an English teacher, so I have to use it 100%. And at home, also because my family comes from the United States, and actually they are Latin, but we all speak English between us, you know. So between my brother, my cousins, uncles, and the family, we all speak English and also Spanish. So it is kind of funny to listen to us speak that Spanglish sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.